Hello everyone and welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator. Welcome back to my brand new garage. If you remember correctly, we have two cars in the garage right now. We have this one that I thought was going to be very easy and it has a lot of stuff that needs done. And we got that one over there. This one has a whole list of stuff that I have to do. Look at that. So basically I'm going to be taking apart the rear suspension and replacing a whole bunch of stuff in it. Pretty much rebuilding just about the entire rear suspension from the way that looks. So it's going to be quite a struggle. So let's get going with it. It's not going to be super hard. I've done it before many times. It's simply going to be taking everything off, putting everything back on, replacing the parts that need replacing. But I thought it was going to be a quick 1 or 2 part job, but I was very wrong. But it's all good because this is going to get me a lot of money by the time this is all said and done, and I will get a good amount of experience for it as well, which is always great when you're trying to build up. So there's a lot I need. I need to get another bay opened up. I need to get my paint shop opened up. I need to get a lot of stuff. So we're just kind of pulling things apart here. This rear suspension is a little bit different than your standard rear suspension that I normally take apart. So it's not something I've done 100 times. So I'm just kind of trying to see where the parts are and what I'm taking out, all that kind of stuff. Because usually you have your U-bolts and you have all of that going on. You don't have that on this one. You have a bunch of weird suspension arms and stuff like that that aren't normally in the suspensions that I take apart on this game. Nothing very complicated, but it's just different. So I'm used to doing it quickly, boom, rocking through it, but I kind of got to pay attention to what I'm doing right now because I got to remember how all of this came apart so I can put it back together and have an idea what I'm looking for when I go to get the parts and everything. There's a lot of rubber bushings on this one. Another rear suspension arm. So far, a lot of the stuff looks pretty good. That doesn't. The sway bar doesn't look good at all. That's probably going to be bad. Several of those rubber bushings are going to be bad. I can already tell you that from the list. But there's really not a whole lot of parts on this rear suspension so far that I've seen that are really rusty. I mean, you have some that are kind of rusty and might be bad, but it's a toss-up, so we'll see. I'll definitely know that was bad, what I just took off. We'll definitely know when I go to put it back on whether it's good or not, because it'll give us a little thing that tells us the condition. Yeah, that's bad. This knuckle housing is bad. The bushing is bad. Shock absorber, I think that's still good. This bushing is bad. Both of them, I think, actually were bad. The sway bar is bad. The spring is bad. This suspension arm is bad. Yeah, so I'm going to have to buy a whole lot of things. Shock absorber cap, I think, is bad. The spring is definitely bad. Spring cap is fine. I think this knuckle housing A is going to be bad as well. This suspension arm is good. I won't have to replace that. Take the little bushing out of the side so that I can take the knuckle housing off. Yeah, this is quite a lot of parts on this. Oh, that's hooked to the drive shaft, ain't it? That's why I can't take it off. Okay. So we got to take the entire drive shaft off as well. Okay, now we should be able to pull the cross member off. Wonderful. So that is the entire rear suspension taken off the car. Now we got to start putting it back together and figure out what parts we need to buy. The cross member's okay. Put the bushings in it. Some of my bushings are good and a lot of them aren't, so I'm going to have to buy new bushings. But I'll use what I have that is good. Next time I go to the computer to order a part, I'll just order a mess of them. See, let's put the knuckle housing back on. One of those is good, one of them is bad. That's rear axle knuckle housing A. So let's go, where's my computer at? Over here? Let's go over to the computer and let's go ahead and order that. It's going to be a lot of trips back and forth to the computer until I get my tablet unlocked. But that should happen very soon. Maybe even this episode. We'll see. Okay, rear axle knuckle housing A. I will take one. And I also needed... I'm going the wrong way. I got to go down. Rubber bushings. I need some of those. Buy a couple of those and a couple of the small ones. And we'll see how that works for us. I don't want to buy too many because I don't have a whole lot of money right now. So I don't want to like buy a bunch of extra. Alright. Shock absorber is good. We'll put that back on. This rear suspension arm is good. We'll put that back together. I think they take some bushing here. So we'll put one of our good bushings in. Alright. Let's see. It's another suspension arm. That's good. The other one on the other side is bad though. And we need to put bushings in, small rubber bushings. So we'll put that together. Go ahead and go buy the one for the other side while I'm thinking about it. It's always good to kind of do it as you go. That way you have the part when you get to the other side and it goes a lot quicker. Alright. Let's see, wheel hub 3. That is good to go. The rear wheel hub is good, but the other side is bad. So we'll go ahead and run over and grab that. You don't realize how lucky you are to have the tablet until you don't have the tablet. With the tablet, you can simply order right from where you're standing. You don't have to keep running back and forth. Alright, we got another crossbar here. Another rear suspension upper arm is what this one's called. So we'll throw a couple bushings in that and get that put together. Alright, we got to put the sway bar back on. We've got to put the entire brake system back together. But while we're here, let's go ahead and buy another one of these arms because the one on the other side is bad. We'll head back over and finish this side off. I think the sway bar was bad as well. So I'm going to have to replace that. The wheel hub bearing for the other side is bad. See, the drive axle is good, but the other side is bad. So back to the computer we go. Alright, let's see. We need... I know one of the springs was bad too, but I don't remember if it was rear spring or... I know it was on the rear, but let's go ahead and buy this bearing. I'll just come back to the computer and do that when I make sure which one I need. See, that's another reason it's good to kind of do them as you go, because I tend to forget parts that I need. That's that sway bar, the rear sway bar B, and that is definitely bad. That's the other part that I wanted to buy that I didn't buy. I knew I was forgetting something. Alright, rear sway bar B. That's over here. 110 bucks. No, 104 bucks is all I paid for it. It said 110 on the list, though. I wonder why I got it cheaper. I mean, I'm not going to complain. I'll definitely take a discount. I appreciate it. All right, let's see if we can get this thing put back on. There we go. And there's something else there. What is that? Sway bar rear end link. That's good, but the other side is bad. All right, so let's go ahead and buy that little guy for the other side. Was that sway bar rear end link, right? Was that what it was? I think that's down here on the right. Yeah, that looks like what I took off. All right, so now all we should have left on this side is the brake assembly. Unless I missed something. Looks like I got everything. Nope, I'm missing this little bushing right here. Small rubber bushing. See, a little simple thing like that, the customer will be mad as hell if it's not there. I don't see anything else. I think I got everything. Nope, what is that? Rear suspension arm A. Okay, so that's good for both sides. So we'll put that back together. Now the spring assembly. I was wondering why the spring wasn't there. Okay, the spring itself is bad, I think. On the other side it's bad. Okay. So I need to buy one of those. And the shock absorber cap, I got a bad one on the other side too. Back to the computer we go. Alright, rear spring and the rear shock absorber cap. Buy both of those. Now when we put the other side together, it should be a breeze. Because we should have all the parts we need. Now we're just getting into the brake assembly. One more check here to make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be. Let's go ahead and put this drive shaft back on before I forget. Because you're definitely not going anywhere without a drive shaft. This car will not move. Alright, let's see if I can get back over where I'm supposed to be here. Looks to me like everything else is together. I don't see anything missing. Yeah, I think we're good. So let's go ahead and get our brake assembly put together. Brake disc is good. Let's check the pads. They're good on both sides. Calipers were good. I remember when I took them off, they were good. And then a tire, and that's the end of this side. Alright, we are very close to done with this job. All we have to do is put together the other side of the suspension, and we should have all the parts we need. It should be a matter of just slapping them all together. You always got to watch and be careful that you get all the bushings put in. Because it's very easy to overlook a bushing. And then the job isn't done. And on some jobs, they don't tell you what you missed. They just say that it's not done. And then you got to try to figure it out. Oh, I don't have enough bushings. Crap. Well, I guess I do got to go back to the computer. I should have probably bought more than 2 of each, but oh well. We'll buy 4 more. That should get the job done, hopefully. Alright, where was that bushing at that I was trying to put in? Both of those are there. Oh, it was on this upper arm, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, put that together. And now we'll do the shock absorber. Get that put in. There's this little sway bar rear end link. Put that on. We got another bushing there we got to put in. And then this suspension arm, put that back on. That will give us access to our spring cap, spring, and shock absorber cap. We'll put all that together. Come on, baby. Alright, that's all good. Now, what else are we missing here? We've got the other two suspension arms over here. Oh, darn it, I'm out of small rubber bushings now. I should have bought those when I bought the larger rubber bushings. That was dumb. That's okay. It's just a little trip over to the computer, not a big issue. We'll buy 4 of those as well. Now, we should be good for bushings for the rest of this job, I would imagine. We will see, but I think we'll be good. So let's put the suspension arm back on. Good to go there. Now we have this suspension arm here, the rear suspension arm. Go ahead and hook that back up. And that should, don't forget the bushing. That should get us up here to the wheel hub area. I think everything else is done. Alright, so we got wheel hub 3 here. Go ahead and put that on. Our rear wheel hub, we'll get that screwed in. Then we can put in our little bearing. And then our drive axle should go right in there. Yep. Okay, wonderful. Now we'll get our brake disc put on, our pads and our caliper and the wheel. And that should be job done. Unless I have forgotten something. I don't think I did. Everything looked right. I didn't kind of go back and completely check this side really carefully like I did the other side, but we're just going to call it good and see what happens. See if they are cool with it. I don't see anything that I missed. Everything looks right. Yeah, I think we're good to go. There's nothing glaring out at me saying, "Hey, dummy, you missed this." This side I checked real careful, but doesn't hurt to give it another look. I'm not real familiar with this particular rear suspension. That's why I'm trying to make sure. Alright, everything is in the green, it looks like. So we made $1,148 off of this job. We spent $670, so we almost doubled our money there. So we are up to $8,381 now. Very cool. So we got to get this other car. I don't remember if this is a brake job or a filter job. But let's move it over here to the lift. And then let's see what they need. Actually, let's go ahead and sell all this crap. Because I've got a whole bunch of bad parts in my inventory here. Sell them all. You're not going to make a lot of money doing this, selling all this stuff, but it just kind of clears out your inventory a little bit. Makes it a lot easier to see what you're doing. Alright, pads. Need 2 pads, a caliper, a brake disc, and a brake disc ventilated for this car. So let's head over here to the computer, and we'll go ahead and buy everything we need. Let's see, we needed 2 pads. We needed a caliper, we needed 1 brake disc, and 1 brake disc ventilated. Now it's just a matter of figuring out what goes where the stuff is bad. Kind of a weird looking paint job. Got some kind of Japanese writing or Chinese writing or something on the side of it there. I can already see the brake disc on the rear tire here is bad. And the caliper. I don't know if the pad itself is bad here, but the caliper is bad and the brake disc is bad. So we'll be switching those out. Alright, brake disc was bad, so we're going to put a new one on there. The pad was bad as well. So this whole side was screwed. They had a bad caliper, they had bad pads, and they had a bad rotor as well. So they were probably driving real rough. We'll get that tire put back on. Now we have to try to find the other stuff. All we need now is a brake disc ventilated and one more set of pads. So we'll just kind of try to look and see. This brake disc here looks real bad as well. So we'll go ahead and check the pads on this tire also while we're doing it. Take the caliper off. The pad looks horrible. I don't know if it's in bad enough shape to replace yet, but it looks like crap. Come on. Nope, it was still good. It looks terrible though. Put the caliper back on. Now the wheel. And we're going around to the other side of the car. Ooh, this brake disc looks terrible too. The other one was orange, I think, and not red, so it might not have been completely bad, but it looked like crap. I went ahead and put the new one on that side, but if we find out this one is the one that's bad, I can always put the one that was on that side on this side. Yeah, we'll put this orange one on this side. Looks like crap, but it'll pass. They won't be too pissy about it. Alright. This one is done, but we still have to replace one more pad. I think that's probably going to be on the rear wheel on the driver's side here. So we'll go take that apart. Man, the rotor on this side looks like crap too. I would suggest that they replaced all these rotors that look like this. But they aren't bad enough to fail inspection yet. But man, are they close. I mean, there's not a whole lot left there that you're going to have to wait that long before you're screwed, man. I would just go ahead and replace it. All right, let's see how bad it was. No, it says it's still in the yellow, but man, does that look terrible. Those were the pads that needed replaced. So this is job done once I get it put back together. I don't feel good about this job, though, to be honest with you. Because I'm leaving 2 brake discs on this car that don't appear to be safe to me. Now, according to the stat, it says it's safe, but I don't know. I don't like it. But that is job done, so we'll go ahead and get this thing out of the shop and see what else we got. I think that we can, yeah, we can upgrade. Oh, so we can go ahead and get our tool bench. That's cool. Our repair bench. So now we'll be able to repair the parts instead of having to just scrap them. I don't have anything I can repair right now. So I'm going to go ahead and sell off the calipers and pads and brake discs that I have from that job that were bad. You barely make anything from doing this. A couple bucks per, but what the hell, right? Alright, we got the mission car. We got brake problems. That is a cool looking truck. I'm going to work on this just because the truck is cool looking. I love those old trucks. They are awesome. I'd actually like to take this thing and restore it and make it badass. Alright, what else can we do? Engine oil and filter. That's easy. That's a couple different things. Let's go ahead and do this one. Just got to replace the oil and oil filter. That's easy as hell. That'll be a couple minute job. Oh, that's wild looking. Like zebra print or something. Alright, so let's see what we need for this truck. Ah, it won't let me. I was trying to steal that truck. I'm going to be honest with you. I like this truck. I was going to try to just put it in my own garage and just take the monetary hit, but we'll have to buy one of these once we get some money up and restore it and make it really awesome looking. I dig this thing. Alright, so let's see what we're going to need for it. Caliper, brake drum, and brake shoe. So the brake drum and the brake shoe are going to be on the back. The caliper is going to be on the front. So we'll buy what we need here. We need the brake caliper, the brake shoe, and the brake drum. So this truck is going to have drum brakes on the back. So on both sides of the rear here, you're going to have a brake drum, and inside that you're going to have brake shoes. And then you're going to have a little doohickey above it as well. I'll show you when we get this wheel off. So here's the brake drum. Inside this you have brake shoes, and then you have that little piece above it there. It's called like the drum wheel cylinder or something like that. Alright, so the pads, the shoes were bad, the drum was bad. I replaced both. So now we should just have the caliper left. Yep, just the brake caliper. So we know that's going to be on the front. Unfortunately, the way the hubcaps are on this, you can't see inside of it. You got to take the wheel off. That looks real bad. So let's see if that one was the one that I had to replace. Yes, it was. So this went very quickly, very smoothly. And now that is job done. So unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to this beautiful truck. I know it looks a little rusty, but it is awesome. I will see you again because I'm going to buy one of those. Alright, let's get this guy going. We need an oil filter, and we need to change the oil and refill with new. Okay, so let's move him over to the lift. Go ahead and get him cranked up in the air so we can drain the oil out. When I see a Jeep that looks like this, I wonder if this thing's ever even been off-road. Go ahead and open up the hood there. Let's move this over underneath of here, and we'll go ahead and drain the oil. Alright, that's done. Move it back. Now we should be able to grab the filter from underneath, I think, while we have it up in the air. I don't know if it'll let me. Sometimes it gets awful picky and it only lets you mess with stuff in the engine compartment from the ground. But it's right there. Good, I can pull it off. Alright, so we're going to need to replace that. So let's go ahead and sell this off. See which one we need. Sell the brake stuff. I got a case I got to open up too. So that's oil filter 16. So let's make sure we remember that. And this is not where my computer is. My computer's over here. So we need to get oil filter 16 from the shop. So we'll scroll down here to the O's. Alright, here's the oil filters. I think it was this white one here. Yep, oil filter 16. Alright, we'll buy that. Go ahead and get that put on, and then we should just have to put oil in this thing and it's done. Yeah, this is just an oil change. It's really easy. I'm not going to make a ton of money off of it, but I will get some experience. And right now, both are important, but in a way, the experience is almost more important than the money right now. Because I need the experience to open up all the different things I need. I've got to get another bay opened up in this shop before I can start even thinking about restoring a vehicle. Because I don't have the kind of money to restore the entire vehicle at once. So I'm going to have to do it bit by bit. And I have to have an extra bay opened up here that I can have the car I'm working on restoring sitting on while I'm working on customer cars to make the money to afford the parts. So let's put the oil in here, and that will be job done. And this city Jeep owner will get his vehicle back so he can ride around and pretend that he off-roads. That is good. Damn, $126 I charged him for an oil change? That is ridiculous. I ought to be ashamed of myself. Of course I'm not, but I ought to be. That's highway robbery. Alright, this one I don't think I'm going to do yet. Because it's got to do with the timing components. I'm going to have to pull the engine for this probably. And I don't think I have the ability to pull an engine yet. Because I don't see that piece of equipment in my shop. And I don't want to try to take apart an engine inside of the car. That's going to be a pain in the ass. That's running gear faults. What is this one? Running gear faults. I didn't really want to mess with the running gear faults, so I figured what the hell, I was going to go ahead and do this mission. So we got to change the oil, but we also need to check all these parts. This is going to be an interesting one because I cannot pull the engine. So I'm going to have to try to take this apart while it's still in the car. That's going to be very difficult to do. I don't think that I can do any of the testing that would help me to determine what I need either. Yeah, I haven't unlocked anything yet. This is going to be a challenge. Definitely. I'm trying the overview, but that's not helping at all. Alright, so next episode, we're going to tackle this guy. And we're going to try to fix this car for this gentleman. It's going to be definitely challenging because I can't pull the engine out. So join me then. It's going to be nuts. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe and all that jazz, and I will catch you on the next one. Till I speak to you again, love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.